changing lifestyles, better infrastructure, social media, and ever increasing biking groups. Some of the reasons why a typical Indian middle class family man wants to go back to biking. Perfect time then for bikes like the Jawa. Friends, you are seeing Car Talk. I'm Bunny Punia, and this is the Jawa 42 motorcycle. The big question will be answered today. Worth the wait and worth the hype? Well, let's find out. Now, before I tell you how the bike is to ride, the 42, let's talk about the design first. Now, the whole aim was to bring back the same uber coolness of the Java of the 50s, 60s and the earlier times. The same has been replicated on both the versions, the normal classic and the 42, but there are a few differences. The 42 mainly gives you a less chrome treatment, more of a matte finish. Everything over here is not shiny paint, it's completely matte finish. The chrome is only reserved for the exhaust and the engine over here. Apart from that, you also have a slightly different headlamp assembly on both the bikes, and on the 42 you have an offset speedometer console, less chrome for the mirrors and so on. But overall, the design, the retroness is actually nice on this bike. I wouldn't mind. I'm 35 years old. I wouldn't mind being seen on this one actually for my Sunday rides. Love the bracing over here. I love this strip, the golden strip that goes across the length of the bike on the fender, on the tank, around the logo, on the rear fender as well. The dual exhaust, they give the bike much more bulk, more bulk than required, and they are functional exhaust as well. The indicators are cool, they're small, they are finished with half chrome and half orange on both the front and the rear side. You also have a massive radiator assembly over here, which again gives you more bulk to the engine. 293cc motor with 27 bhp of power and 28 newton meters of torque. I'll talk more about how it rides in a while. The seat on both the bikes is more or less same, but I think for a rider of my weight and height, this definitely feels firm. You have these lockable compartments on either end, but there is no space in them to keep anything, including even a wallet. No space under the seat as well. Tiny grab rails for the pillion. Now, this is not a very long seat. If I sit, the pillion doesn't really have too much space over here, and there's no proper grab rail at the back, so that is an issue for the pillion rider. The seat finishes very early, so you have a long fender at the back with 42 embossed right here, a cute small tail lamp, and again indicators like the front one. So overall, the design is really appealing. I don't see any shortcoming in the design. It looks cool. It will turn heads on the roads. It's not very wide and bulky like the classic 350 from Enfield, but nevertheless, it's a well done job. These are not production models, these are pre-production models, and yet the overall fit and finish is remarkable, I think. So I think in design terms, full marks to Java. Now, how does it ride on the road? This one is basically shares the same engine with the Mojo, but is tuned heavily in a very different manner for these bikes. The main aim is to have low end torque. These bikes aren't meant to be ridden flat out on the highways, or you're touching your pegs around corners on a hill. These bikes are meant to be ridden in a relaxed manner, in a very cool, comfortable manner, and this is where the low end punch is remarkable. Even then, the bike flies to 60 and towards 80, 100 before losing steam. In the next clips, I'll show you how the bike does to 60 around 5 seconds, to 100 approximately 12 seconds, and given the road, this one will do 140 on the speedometer as well. We don't recommend that, but we just wanted to see how much can the bike be pushed. The speedometer has an error of approximately 10 to 12%, which is quite on the higher side. The first gear will do around 50, the second will do 75, the third will do almost 100, and the last two gears, fifth and sixth, are very tall, so it's more of the highway usage. You can hold 90 all day long. Let me tell you, as compared to the classic 350, this can hold 90, 100 all day long without any issue, and you still have enough power in reserve to overtake slower moving traffic. The vibrations from the tank, they start at approximately 90-95, so that's quite okay. This is not meant to be a touring machine, but if you want to go fast, this will do it. Now, kitna deti hai? The company hasn't given us the actual figures in terms of certified economy, but I believe given the state of tune, it's a very soft state of tune, enough low end punch, you won't be shifting gears too much. So they should do around 35 to 40 easily in city conditions. The 6-speed gearbox needs a special mention. It's quite good in terms of the shift quality. The clutch is not too heavy, and I could easily do on a brand new bike. I could do my clutchless downshifts and clutchless upshifts very easily. So full marks to Jawa for that. The sound is very good. We have shown you how the bike sounds in a different video on our channel, and again I'll show you. So the twin exhaust, they work very well. The sound from the bikes, the twin exhaust, they seem to work very well. No thump of the infield, of course, but for this segment, it's a nice sounding bike. The DB killers from the exhaust can be removed, and again we have a video for that on our channel. The link you can see on the screen right now. Listen to the bike. That bike has no DB killers in the exhaust and sounds very good. Of course, that's not road legal, but if you want to enjoy proper sound from your bike, you can see that video. When you buy the bike, you can remove the DB killers and the bike will sound very good. Suspension wise, the chassis is all new, and I think Jawa has worked very hard to give it a very nimble character. The moment you pick up speeds from 10-20, the bike seems to be very lightweight. You don't feel very cumbersome in traffic. You don't feel the bike is heavy at lower speeds, so that's a really good plus point. These aren't USDs. They look like USDs, but they are normal telescopic front shock absorbers and shock absorbers at the rear. Dual. There are no monoshock at the back. You have gas charge shock absorbers, which can be adjusted in 5 different steps. In terms of the length, the travel of the suspension, if I'm not wrong, the front gives you 100 millimeter travel, the rear gives you 140 millimeter travel, or it could be the opposite way around. Very sorry, we'll mention that in the text also as you see this video. I think comfort is very good. Apart from the stiff seat, the suspension is very good. We rode into our hotel last night at Kumbhalgarh in the dark, and I had traffic, the blinding lights from the traffic, and yet the bike felt solid over broken roads, over potholes. So suspension wise, I have no issues with this bike. The issue is with the seat. It's really hard. In fact, I wanted to stop the bike and had to ask Ajish, my camera person, my team member behind the camera right now, to ride the bike. That is how hard the seat is. Apart from that, no complaints from the Jawa. So yeah, design wise, it's a killer. Engine wise, it does the job. Low end punch, it's smooth, it's punchy at lower revs. Comfort wise, suspension seems to work very well apart from the seat. And feature wise, well, you get a front disc brake, you get spoke wheels, no rear disc brake. Also, you get a single channel ABS right now. Dual channel ABS on the Jawa is certainly missing, but the company says they might do it at a later stage. And finally, the pricing. At 1.55 lakh rupees ex-showroom daily, this is the most affordable Jawa. The normal one, the classic, is approximately 10 to 15,000 rupees more expensive in terms of on-road pricing. You can see the walk-around video for the Jawa Classic in Hindi from the link on the screen right now. So we have that also for you guys. This is a purely English review for the 42. The Hindi review for the normal one is also on our channel. Would I buy one? Would you buy one? Well, pricing is certainly more or less in the same segment. The brand name alone, Jawa is a legendary brand name. We all know about that. My parents know about that. So for the brand name alone, I think the premium is completely justified, and there is no real flaw with the bike. If you want a cruiser, look elsewhere. If you want a sports bike, look elsewhere. If you are into long distance touring, look elsewhere. But for your Sunday rides, when you want to forget your corporate world, you want to forget your business, you want to relax with your bike for 2-3 hours, this bike will definitely bring a smile on your face, and that is what matters. Now, this bike competes in a segment that is ruled by Royal Enfield, and it won't be easy for Jawa to create their own foothold in the market. That said, a typical customer of the segment, he wants a lot of things. He wants a bike that looks cool, retro. Well, this one does that. The customer also wants an engine that is fairly refined with enough punch. This one also does that. And this Jawa name tag alone, the Jawa brand plate, that is enough to justify the extra premium. At 1.55 lakh rupees ex-showroom daily, I think the bike is worth the wait and worth the hype. Now, these are pre-production models. There are a few quality issues here and there, but the company has promised us once the deliveries will start, the bike will be a complete package. So my initial questions, is the bike worth the wait, worth the hype? Definitely a thumbs up from our side. What do you feel about Jawa? Let us know in the comment section below. And guys, if you haven't done till now, do subscribe to our channel.